The Judicial Committee of the Privy Council has unanimously concluded that the appeals should be allowed and the appellant's convictions should be quashed on the ground of juror misconduct, and that the case should be remitted to the Court of Appeal of Jamaica to decide whether to order a retrial of the appellants for the murder of Clive Williams.
There will be remittance to the Court of Appeal for consideration as to whether or not there should be a retrial. It's not what we wanted, wholesomely, but we are grateful that justice was served in that the Privy Council.
Alright, so good news for the Gaza Empire, good news for the Gaza nation, good news for the Gaza fans, and good news for Vybz Kartel himself and the co-defendants. Alright, so by now everybody know what I want. So I'm just gonna do some recap and tell you what exactly going to happen in the coming days and what has already happened. Alright, so the conviction of Vybz Kartel and his co-defendants are quashed by the Privy Council, right? And the Jamaica Highest Court, the Court of Appeal, is to decide if there is to be a new trial. Alright, so the Privy Council has quashed the murder conviction of dancehall entertainer Adidja Palmer, known as Vybz Kartel, and 3 other men, ruling that the case be sent back to Jamaica Court of Appeal for ruling of whether they should be retried. Kartel entertainer Sean Storm Campbell, Kyra Jones, and Andre St. John were convicted in 2014 for killing Clive Lizard Williams, murdered in 2011. So Kartel and the others were sentenced to life imprisonment. However, the Privy Council said in its judgment a short while ago that the men convicted should be quashed on the ground of juror misconduct. Lawyers for the appellants had raised the issue of breaches of character of rights in relation to the telecommunication evidence used against them. They also argued that the Justice Lennox Campbell should have dismissed a tainted juror who was later found guilty of accepting bribe to try influencer other jurors in the case. However, the attorney for the state dismissal the arguments, contending that the evidence against the men was overwhelming and their conviction should stand. He also argued that one bad apple should not lead to dismissal of the entire juror. Williams alleged killed after he failed to return 2 unlicensed guns given to him by Kartel for safekeeping. William has not been seen or heard of ever since. Kartel was ordered to serve 35 years before being eligible for parole, while Sean's parole eligibility period was set as 25 years. St. John and Jones were ordered to serve 30 and 25 years.
We are confident that they were very upset about the jury point that the judge allowed a juror who was allegedly trying to bribe the jury, allowed him to sit and continue to deliberate, that he sent them out 17 minutes to 4 after 64 days of trial. That was huge pressure on the jury. And the Director of Public Prosecution infused herself in his chambers and encouraged the judge to keep the juror who was allegedly bribing and to
this in respect of the jury tampering issue, and we are happy that that was the result of the Court of Appeal. But we have a challenge ahead of us in respect of the retrial issue, and so that's why you're not seeing me jumping up and down at this time, though we are grateful that the conviction was quashed.
This conviction, which has been worldwide and it's broadcast by media throughout the world, has been quashed. This is as a result of hard work. The reasons for quashing the case in the Privy Council, we argued those very grounds before the Court of Appeal of Jamaica, who turned us away. And therefore, the final Court of Appeal has vindicated and made the efforts that we have made, that we had an arguable case.
What do you think will be the outcome of the Vybz Kartel and his co-convicts appeal today?
Our freedom, straight. Look at my face and who reading, you will hear the smile in my voice. Road, right now, ready?
Well, I do road, like a samurai. I think it'll be free today. Free. Everybody on the Gaza, that's why I say free.
The greatest thing, it reach to where it should reach, right? So, to my knowledge, he didn't get a fair trial.
Because him not do nothing, innocent man.
Freedom, Gaza say.
Yeah, we're there wait for the verdict right now.
And they're behind the bars too long right now.
We just have to wait and the outcome.
So your dream straight? You name God, Michelle. Not me, my mother. Yes. Dream. What time is and dream me and tell me something for go look for him. Yeah. And tell him say, him a go free. Him a go free. Him too good. So you know you get the message to him? Him is a good man. You ain't get the message to him? Yes. We get the message to him. We get the message to him.
Respectively, before they are eligible for parole. So Kartel and his co-accused denied any involvement in the killing of Williams. Alright, so the Privy Council says while it has considerable sympathy with the dilemma faced by the trial judge in the Vybz Kartel murder trial following the discovering of the juror tampering attempts allowing the tainted juror to continue in the case was fatally to the verdict. The board is very mindful of serious consequences which may flow from having the discharge a juror shortly before the end of a long complex trial. It is also very conscious of the danger of deliberate attempts to derail the criminal trial by engineering a situation in which it's necessary to discharge a juror. Lord Jones said in delivering the judgment this morning. However, the Privy Council said it had to quash the conviction of several grounds. It said that the direction given to the jurors by the judge on the final day of the trial was inadequate to save the situation, and the judge took no account for overcompensation by the jurors who knew about the alleged bribe. It added that there should have been no questions of allowing the tainted juror to continue, as doing so put safety of the verdict at risk and was infringement of the defendant's fundamental rights to fair hearing. It said that the approach taken by the judge was a material irregularity in the trial. The Privy Council pointed to the alternative approach used in England and Wales, where the law allowed for a judge alone to continue the case in similar circumstances. Kartel, whose given name is Adidja Palmer, Sean Storm Campbell, Kyra Jones, and Andre St. John were convicted in March 2014 of the killing of Clive Lizard Williams. One of the jurors in the case, Levington Kane, was later found guilty for offering $500,000 bribe to the juror foreman to influence other jurors to return a not guilty verdict in the case. The Privy Council has remitted the case to the Court of Appeal for decision on retrial. The director of the public prosecution will also have to determine whether she wishes to go forward with the case. The defendant's attorney have already indicated they will oppose a retrial. Alright, so the director is DPP Paula, and she was the first one. Well, she was the one that gave the orders to sentence Vybz Kartel. So if you watch my previous videos, Bina said this, you get me on this? So she has she has the upper hand again. But it's not a case where he can be guilty or not guilty. It's just a case where he has to be retrial or is set free. So basically, I think retrial would be the best thing she would put to the table, you know, based on her previous encounters with these cases. You get me on that? Because she was the one that said to the judge that let's go on, although she know that there was a juror there that was trying to bribe the other jurors, you know. So we'll see what's going to be the outcome in a couple of days. But I think him on the safe part of her, although he have already spent over a decade in jail. But anyway, we also have a once.